this is Jill Ciminillo with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and we are now in the Chevy display at the Chicago Auto Show, and we have Nichole Kraatz here with us, and she's the chief engineer for this really cool truck behind us. And what we want to do in this video is we just want to do a walk around and talk about some of the cool features and things that are unique to this truck and just kind of get a closer look. Start with, what is the most unusual thing that you will find on this truck?
I think there's two most unusual things. The first most unusual thing is over 400 miles of range. Yeah. So this truck has been completely redesigned from the ground up to be able to enable 400 miles of range. That's a huge opportunity in the EV pickup truck segment. It's something that we sort of put out there as our sights on when we started designing the truck. Everything that we've designed into this truck is to enable that 400 miles of range.
Okay.
The second thing that's unique about the truck is got to be our midgate.
Okay.
We've redesigned the truck to allow us to have a midgate. We really wanted the customers to have cargo carrying flexibility, versatility in everywhere that they do. We have a standard 5'11" bed, which is the longest in the EV pickup segment already. And then we're offering even more capability by allowing the passengers to put cargo through the midgate, either with the 60% side down, with the 40% side down together to make it fully open. You can fit just over 9 feet of cargo with the tailgate up and the tonneau cover over, so that's safe from the environment, from rain, dirt, etc. And then with the load stop up, you have over 10 feet, 10 inches of cargo capability that you can slide whatever you need through. We've got kayaks, we've got lumber at Home Depot, we've got fleet customers who have lots of great uses for this, and so we've really designed this truck to have the most versatility in cargo. Of course, being an EV, you get the Frunk, so you get another open space for storage. And then because we've redesigned this truck from the ground up, not using anything from our traditional Silverado body-on-frame vehicle, we actually have over 7 gallons of storage in the center console because the floor is flat and it allows for huge storage areas in the cargo, in the console itself. So I mean, just everything that we could possibly design into this thing to make it a unique EV experience for the customers, we've done.
Yeah, and so the seats, basically it's 60/40 fold and they've released from inside?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. We need to go look at the Frunk.
So the Frunk is obviously an EV thing in the industry in terms of being able to replace where you would have a traditional engine with space that allows you to carry cargo in different places. Our fleet customers actually are really excited about this opportunity, as I think our retail customers will be as well, because now the opportunity for a toolbox to go into the Frunk and be used and have a very nice ergonomic reach and be able to get their tools safe and locked out of the way. No one knows they're sitting here, as opposed to a box in the truck bed traditionally that we use. And so it's a pretty exciting proposition in terms of what you want to use this space for. There are power outlets in the Frunk so that you can power your tools when the truck is sitting, or you can Frunk gate instead of tailgate. I mean, why not? Do whatever you want to with an EV pickup.
And are those like tie-down hooks in the back?
Yeah, this isn't our final design. This is a little bit more of the reveal truck, so we're still working on the space itself, but it will have tie-downs, it will have power, it'll have a dry area that doesn't get dirt and dust and water in it, so it's safe. You can put your luggage in here on your way to the airport and you're still good.
Okay. This is really cool. So I also, if we can put the Frunk top back down, I want to talk about this lighting signature, because I was like standing back here just kind of like mesmerized by what's going on here. So this looks really cool. So are the sequential lights, are those, is it turn signals, or what's going on here?
Yeah, so we'll let you go through the whole sequence. The blue lights are the charge indicators. So when you're plugging in, it's something that when you're looking at the vehicle sitting at a charge station, you can see where the charge is going to be. Of course, it sits in your app and there's other opportunities for you to see where, but it's a really nice visual appearance. Those blue lights show up individually when you're at certain percentages of battery power. Then we've got the cross car light, which of course is this very welcoming, I'm an EV. You can tell that this is something different. It's showing up as an electric vehicle. And then the various things that you're seeing here, These are the turn signals. These
Okay.
are the DRLs during the daytime. These are the headlamps, the projectors down here. So this is all operating as daytime running lights and turn signals.
Now, will even the base version of this truck have the daytime running lights that go all the way across, or is this special to the RST?
This crosscar light is an RST feature.
Okay.
The work truck is really more about having a more simple set of components for our fleet customers. They obviously are high usage of multiple areas, as well as a lot of people coming up and working around the vehicle.
Right.
So they tend to not want a lot of things that are a lot of bits and parts and pieces, so we reduce the amount of parts and pieces for them. They will still have the DRLs, so they'll still have the daytime running signature. It just, this crosscar lamp goes away for the work truck.
Got it. Okay, so we need to look inside.
Yeah.
So this is actually the first time I've really had a chance to look at the interior. So can you kind of walk us through what is going on here?
Yeah, so we, in being able to redesign the vehicle from the ground up, we really were able to recompartmentalize the cargo or the cab itself. We've got a lower forward vision, which means better forward visibility.
Okay.
We've got a fixed glass sunroof, which offers quite a bit of spaciousness and headroom, so that customers are feeling very open in the vehicle. A very simple IP in terms of the design. It goes with this more sculpted, crafted look to the vehicle. Not a lot of busyness going on in the IP. We're really focusing on the cluster and the 17-inch freeform display that you see over there. It really encompasses the whole entire screen itself is being used for information now. We're doing some virtualization of switches. That's a big thing in the industry nowadays. People want to get rid of physical switches.
I was going to say,
and they
which
want to go to
basically
virtual.
means you're getting rid of buttons,
Yes,
right?
you're
The
getting
hard
rid of
buttons.
buttons.
Okay.
You can see though we still have buttons.
Okay.
So do not fear. We are not going to go to 100% virtualization
Okay,
of
so
everything.
here's the most important question. Is there a volume knob?
There's a volume knob. Yes.
Because you know that is going to be
I
the
know.
number one question.
And there's HVAC knobs.
There's HVAC.
So you
okay.
can turn your temperature control yourself or on the screen. The volume knob is sitting right up there in the upper left-hand corner.
Okay.
The other thing though is if you can get a shot just underneath that volume knob, there's some squares there. So what we've done is where the traditional switch bank would be in a physical switch perspective, we've moved that to the screen and it stays persistent.
Okay.
So we don't have to go search through the screens to find that virtual button.
Okay.
It's already sitting there. It's just now on the screen instead of sitting as a physical switch on your IP. So it cleans up the IP, but it still allows the customer to not have that angst of how do I turn my auto head beams off or how do I turn, things on and off. So there's persistency. And then the other thing that we've done is at the top of that center screen, those are reconfigurable. So if you're a high app user for, let's just say My Mode, we have Chevy My Mode on here. If you're a big user of the My Mode and you want to go to that app more often, you don't have to screen through and flip to that screen. You can actually drag and drop the app up to that little channel, and then it'll always be there for you to use. So it's really about reconfigurability, personalization, providing an opportunity for customers to just experience what they want to experience in a vehicle that's got quite a bit of technology.
So again, I've got to ask, is what we're seeing here in terms of the behind the wheel cluster and the infotainment screen, is that what is going to be in every truck, or is that again specific to the RST?
So from a retail perspective, the RST has the 11 and 17 inch freeform display. The work truck has smaller displays.
Okay.
That's really more of, again, what the work truck focuses, as well as the customer base is desiring. So there's a smaller instrument panel, instrument cluster, as well as screen. Still the same integration of the technology though, so still similar virtualization opportunities. The interior materials are different because again, the work trucks are high usage, dirtier, aggressive, work sites. So you'll see a little bit more different material usage than you will in the RST, but still the basic design is the same. So we're interchanging materials and not so much design.
Okay, and just if we could have our Dan open the rear seat really quick. I wanted to get a look at the back back seat? Because I know one of the...
You want it up or down?
Up, actually, if you could put the seat up for a hot minute. Because I know people are going to ask about like headroom and, you know, how many men will fit back here, like if they're going to use it as a work truck.
Absolutely.
You know, what does it look like? What does the leg room look like?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm apparently not allowed to climb in there, but
I'm not either. It's okay. Don't worry.
Can we have Dan climb in there for a second? Can you
Dan
sit
can
in
go in there.
Okay.
Dan is perfect. Dan is over.
He's taking off his shoes.
Dan is over 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And Dan is a very comfortable, over 6 foot tall passenger in the back seat. We actually reconfigured this cabin from our traditional Silverado pickup truck so that we could have people that are 6 feet tall fit in the back seat very comfortably. And Dan and I spent a lot of time working on this when we were working on the pickup truck. So, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into making sure that we're providing more functionality than we can today in our traditional pickup truck. Being able to redesign the pickup from the ground up, obviously with these kinds of things we can do. We've changed wheelbase, we've changed cab size, we've you know, lowered the cowl, we've made forward visibility better, we've made spaciousness improvements. Overall, the length of the vehicle is about what the Silverado is today, the Silverado ICE is today.
Okay.
The height is about the same, but we've changed the configuration because we don't have those traditional internal combustion components to deal with.
Right. No, I go and I sit in the back seat of something and people are like, okay, can we see what an actual adult, you know, what the normal size adult looks like? So thank you. That was very helpful. So what we're looking at too back here, I see some air vents, I see heated seats, I think, and then are there HVAC controls back here, or is it just the vents?
It's just heated seats in the back. That's a pickup truck. We're going to put the heated seats in the back for the RST.
Okay.
The HVAC controls are still off the front of the truck, so you get vent and heat based off the passenger side.
Okay.
Settings.
Now, before we wrap this up, there is one thing that I have to ask about.
Sure.
And that is the sideways steering.
Rear steer.
Rear steer.
Yes.
So I am driving a pickup truck this week in Chicago, and I managed to parallel park it on my street. And everybody
How many times did it take you?
It was not pretty.
I mean, how many turns?
It was like, yeah, it was definitely more, because it was 2 inches bigger than the truck.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, because people might think that's a gimmick.
No.
And so I wanted you to talk, so rear steer. Rear steer. I keep having crab walk in my head.
That's okay.
So I just wanted you to talk about like what that is and why it is not just a gimmick.
Rear steer is not a gimmick. I am a full-size truck driver. I drive an AT4 GMC, and I am absolutely one of those people who always has that pain point of it takes 2 turns to get into a parking spot, let alone parallel parking.
Right.
Rear steer is absolutely game-changing. Everyone that has driven one, that's the first thing that they say when they come out of it. It's not a gimmick. It actually improves the agility of the vehicle to that of a car-like, SUV-like ride, like a mid-size SUV-like turning circle. And so when we talk about trying to bring EV adoption and bring people into the EV industry, rear steer on a pickup truck really allows people who might have been considering wanting something that has the versatility, cargo capability of a pickup truck, but they didn't want that pain point of the steering and the traditional body-on-frame rides. I mean, this structure is a great handling and ride, more refined ride. It's much more smooth than a traditional body-on-frame pickup truck will be. So that combined with rear steer makes the package, there is no heartache that anybody should have in terms of moving from whatever they're in today to a Silverado EV.
Okay, and it's just like a button you push for the rear steer, and it...
rear steer is actually always active.
Oh,
we're doing it for you. So depending on the speed that you're driving at is how much input that we put to rear steer. It's also working for you during trailering dynamics going down the road to settle that trailer. So we've got 10,000 pounds of trailering capability, and it makes it really fantastic to pull it.
Very cool. Okay, so one final question.
Yep.
What's your favorite thing? This is the stumper, because I know there's so much great stuff on this truck, but you've got to have a feature, a button, a detail, something that you really like.
Listen, my team worked their butts off to do this mid-gate right, and to have the 60-40 split where we can still put a 40% customer. I'll say I have two favorite things.
Okay.
The mid-gate is my favorite, and I'm really proud of the team and the work they put into it to make it a compelling feature for the Silverado EV. And I'll say the second thing is our aerodynamics performance. We wouldn't be getting 400 miles of range without the entire team, the chassis team on the wheels and tires, the design team for the aesthetics, our aerodynamics team looking at every little nook and cranny. This truck is going to have a really, really low coefficient of drag. I wish I could tell you what it is. We're still working on it, but it's going to be game changing in the industry when people understand the amount of aerodynamics that we've designed into the truck. And it's really, it's one of my most proud moments because it's a full-on court press by my entire team.
Okay, so there you have it. This is the Chevrolet Silverado EV, and we're here at the Chicago Auto Show, and thank you.
And I would be remiss if I didn't say that people can go to Chevrolet.com and go place an order today. They can reserve it, place in line for their order for $100. We've got trucks that'll range from $39,900 all the way up to $105,500, as you see in this totally loaded Silverado RST. And if you put your reservation in now, you'll be able to pick your version of the truck that you want when it becomes available.
Well, it's actually a really good transition. I don't know where the video goes, but the next video is going to be with Tim Esterdahl, our publisher, who actually put a deposit down on the truck.
Perfect.
So